We're on a tennis court today.
Oh, yeah. First things first, we're on court.
I know.
Not just on the balcony.
We could just jump out and play.
We might.
Do whatever.
I'm wirelessed up.
I know, it's true.
That's real.
We're getting very
solid grammar.
Fancy with our audio. I'm proud.
I want everybody to have a look at these sweet things you put together, huh?
Yeah.
Take to the sets, and then if we get confused, our names are on there.
Michelle and Ryan. Well, shout out to Perfect Etch. They're here in Lakeway.
Mm-hmm.
They're so, and they're not sponsoring us.
No.
This is just, I just love them.
And friends.
And friends.
You know,
you're right. And friends.
Also tennis players at the parks.
Yep.
And I tell you what, they did 2 Christmas gifts of mine.
They did?
For my folks, yep. No, they, again, Perfect Etch in Lakeway, Texas, they did several of my presents, actually, and the Vega tennis Yetis that I've had out here as well, they did those.
Nice.
And I swear pretty much all of Lakeway's etching.
Everywhere. Everybody has one. It's because it's such high quality.
Exactly right. They do fabulous work, as you can see right here. I think these came out amazing.
Sure.
And Perfect Etch, you guys show them some love if you're ever in the Lakeway, Texas area.
Well, first of all, Merry Christmas to y'all. To you, Ryan.
Cheers, Michelle.
Thank you.
Oh, no. It's 72 and a half beautiful degrees out here.
It's beautiful.
On Christmas Eve.
I need to put on more sunscreen.
I know. Dude, no joke. I taught 7 hours yesterday. And I don't know. I usually do 7 or 8 a day.
Yeah.
In the holidays, I mean, you get it. People are busy. We're doing things. We're traveling. Christmassy stuff. So I'm not always as busy, but I nailed 7 hours yesterday.
What?
Well, I mean...
That burns so many calories. I'm a little jealous. Now you can eat whatever you want.
Well, I
Drink,
usually do.
eat.
No, it's true.
Well, that's true.
I've weighed 182 pounds on the dot for 20 years. Just about.
Now everybody hates you.
No, well,
that's amazing.
I just told Ashley, too, so I'm 40 this year, y'all. Anyways.
Old.
Whatever.
We've talked about that gray.
Dude. Not just that, but no joke.
Yes.
I had I'm going to go ahead and classify it as an old man pain that just shot down my leg like the last couple of days.
Welcome to the rest of our lives, Ryan.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. But
it just shows you're human.
Well, in court time, when people say that, I'm like, listen, court time, I'm 50 hours a week on the court.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean? Yes.
And so, listen, I'm blessed. I'm super blessed.
You are.
We, not just to live here in the business and be a part of all these wonderful things we're doing, but to have all these people that have supported us and me and...
Well, because you're damn good.
Well, you're right. Totally right. No.
And so humble.
That's right. Around the holidays, I'm extra humble. No. I like to believe in my product, but...
sure.
But yeah. So 7 hours yesterday, and I literally... All of us know the classic, like, you take your glasses off and your nose is brown, and... Sound very good, but I had the raccoon on the 23rd of December.
That's amazing.
Should have put some sunscreen on. You're right.
Yeah, we love Texas. Love it. So one thing we wanted to talk about is something amazing that your wonderful wife is doing, and that we'd like to continue through the year. Yeah. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
So my wife, y'all, her sister, a couple of years ago, started a foundation called Emily's Elves.
Okay.
Obviously, Ashley's sister's name is Emily, and quite simply, they found families in need during the holidays, acquired donor or through various donors and people donating not just their money, but of course resources as well, were able to adopt and provide for families in need that would no longer or weren't in position to provide a Christmas for their kids.
That's amazing.
It really is.
She's an angel.
I mean, I tell you what, and so, and all of them, all the girls do it. Ashley has 2 sisters, but that was down in New Braunfels, where Ashley's from, which is a little bit north of San Antonio. For y'all out there, there's a couple actually really big tennis resorts in that town. But anyhow. So Emily started it. Ashley, we basically took a branch of it up here in Austin over the last couple of years, and it's grown each year. And she was able to provide for 76 kids this Christmas.
That's amazing.
That again,
that wouldn't have had gifts.
Wouldn't have had gifts.
Oh.
And so, we've spent the last several weeks.
So cool.
Her doing 99.9% of this, but
sure.
But setting up families in need. with families that adopted them, bought the gifts for them. And we've had families come through and pick up their gifts. And I was telling you this earlier today, just to be able to see the graciousness and the gratefulness that they exude. Half of the moms crying and giving hugs, and it is rewarding I don't think there's a word that describes it enough. And it's what the season's all about, right? Being able to give, and if you have that, if you have the means to be able to take care of somebody, I mean, it's an answer to their prayers. It really was. And so I'm super proud of her. It's a wonderful
amazing.
Foundation.
Well, first of all, I have to say, Ashley and you have 4 kids themselves that they're caring for and keeping alive and clothing and all these things. Yep. So the fact that she has time on top of that is amazing. I mean, and she's a photographer.
She sure is.
Wow.
I mean, she takes care of...
She doesn't sleep or eat. She just is working all the time. She's just superhuman.
Have you seen Elf?
Yes.
You know when he's like, I got a full 40 minutes of sleep last night.
Yes.
That's not what she does. No, I'm teasing. You know, you do what you do, Michelle. We don't know life any other way at the moment, but I do. I try to remind her as much as I can and praise her for all that she does. Raising. I'm out here working in podcasting. Hell, it's Christmas Eve. We're getting in a sweet Christmas Eve episode.
Sure.
And we actually just talked before we went on. She has 2 more. Her last 2 families are coming to pick up today. And
so cool.
We're gonna do it. But proud of her. And to what you said, Ashley is taking the steps as we speak to create her own foundation here in Austin called Ashley's Angels. Okay. So you guys if you're interested in looking up or if you want to help, if there's a way that you can. Obviously, we receive and are able to provide for these kids strictly through donations, and if that's something you're interested in, God bless you. Please look into it. And but Ashley's Angels is going to not just she's now motivated to do this year round.
Sure.
And provide for kids and families in need, whether it be school supplies. And what we've done now, what we're going to do is provide tennis rackets.
I'm so excited about this. Yes.
To kids, in
need.
In need, right?
Yes,
and maybe who wanted to be a part of this wonderful sport.
Yes.
And I don't think there's no 2 ways around it. It takes a little bit of money to get into this sport and to take lessons and do all that. And so, I think what we're thrilled to do is provide an avenue through Addicted to Sets that can help those kids who, or heck, anybody that wants to get into this wonderful sport, but maybe had some roadblocks in doing so.
Well, one thing I love about tennis is really compared to like golf or football or some other things, as long as you have a racket, some balls, and somebody on the other side of the net with a racket, you can play. And there are some public courts out there you can play on. So to be able to provide rackets to kids that wouldn't be able to afford them otherwise, and maybe full families with rackets. We just saw a family out playing, right? It's beautiful today next to us on the other court. And it just makes my heart so happy. Were they pro tennis players? No. But were they together as a family and having a wonderful time and getting a great workout and all those things, all those benefits we all know tennis brings? So if we can help provide that, I'm so excited about that.
I'm over the moon on it, and especially on the heels of witnessing these 76 kids that we're able to be provided for, and how that changed their, Brighton, where they wouldn't have had a Christmas, and I'm sitting here trying not to get a little worked up about it because I have 4 children, and just to be able to do what we can do to provide the Christmas for them is obviously rewarding as parents. I know all the parents out there know that, and so us being able to get a little piece of that and being able to give
back.
I'm through the moon. And
cool.
I tell you what, and I just thought about this. I didn't tell you this, and I'd like to throw this out there.
What?
Vega Tennis was the company I started on my own before, and I still, of course, have Vega Tennis.
Sure.
And I'm out here at Lakecliff now, but not just, I would like to provide clinics or lessons or however I can also through Vega Tennis and through Ashley's Angels. And so maybe not just equipment, but also getting them on the court.
Help get them out. Get them out.
At least give them a start.
Sure.
To getting addicted to this beautiful sport like we are.
Sure. So how you can help out is come to our Addicted to Sets podcast drill on Fridays at 2:00 here at Lakecliff. And please bring any old equipment you have.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Give it to Ryan's wife. She'll distribute it to the right folks.
That's how it goes. Yep.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's fabulous. Or balls or anything.
I have 20. I have 20 rackets laying around my house.
You do?
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Well, you are a tennis pro.
Now I have 19. No. But anyways, exactly. But I'm saying a lot of us do. We change racket. Oh, I didn't like that racket. It's sitting in the garage.
So how many times do you do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
It's.
But some child could be playing with that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And be the next Federer.
You know,
you could create the next Federer. I'm just saying.
That's basically it right there. Do you know TFO? You know Francis TFO? So, do you know his story?
No.
His father was a groundskeeper at a country club.
Okay.
Came from modest means, modest pride. Couldn't afford to put his kid into lessons, but worked out a deal and said, can my kid get lessons? Long story short.
Yeah.
And he's on the tour now. And,
it's amazing. He's an amazing player.
Of course, one of the top Americans.
God, I love it.
And as we said, it takes a little bit of money to get off the ground in this sport.
But even the Williams, of course.
Exactly, another great example.
They're the great example.
Great example.
Yes.
And this charity and this foundation and how we're going to be a part of this is amazing, and that's rewarding to the 10th degree. But I think that's the biggest thing. Giving a kid a start that is dying to get into the sport, loves the sport. Maybe there's, again, a few roadblocks. The means aren't there necessarily. Opening those doors and getting, 6% of Americans play tennis. Can you believe that number?
That's it?
That's it.
Come on,
it's an
people.
Actual stat.
Go grab your entire family tomorrow or Christmas dinner.
That's right.
Right? Get them out playing.
Man.
Yeah. That's nuts.
It is. And I only know that from a business standpoint, looking up the numbers, and we're as pros, we're fighting over that 6% versus marketing to that 94%. But this is one way we can do it through a very charitable cause, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So come Saturdays.
Yep, Saturday at 2.
Got confused there. 2:00. Mm-hmm. Yep. Come participate in the drill.
Yeah.
And then we'll podcast we'll podcast after. And if you want, you can be playing in the background.
That's right.
You can be on this YouTube video.
By the way, Dean, my son Dean was on.
He was on! Right? Was he excited about that?
We were out Christmas shopping the other day.
I love it.
And he's like, Dad, I want to see the video. And he was watching. And every so often it's like, oh, there I am. And I'm like, after a while, I'm like, dude, are you even listening to the podcast or strictly looking for...
No.
I mean,
Dad's not cool.
Basically just looking for me, Dad. But anyways.
It was so funny because we were sitting up there and he was watching us. Just the look on his face was like, these two people are so uncool. No. I'm trying, dude. But you get the honesty from me.
Oh, God. Kids are honest.
Yeah.
Also, afterwards, I think he tried to nicely suggest how we could cool it up by using TikTok. Right.
Yes. So we are going to get some things out on TikTok. And I did go check us out on TikTok.
That's right.
We were right out there serving, which is an amazing serve. And I said, Ryan, give me your hardest serve. And it is amazing. I've not seen it before.
Yeah.
So all I just ended up cussing. Like, shit.
Yeah.
It's not pretty, but it's just nice to see that, to feel it. Because I think those of us that are club players, we want to feel what that feels like.
I get that asked actually quite a bit. They're like, I shouldn't say quite a bit, but upon occasion they'll be like, Ryan, give me your hardest serve. Like, I want to see if I can get my racket on it. Right? That's what a challenge.
Yes, I do think I got one.
You did get one.
It was a terrible return, but it went over. Mm-hmm. It was almost a point. So then we quit right after.
Hey,
call it a win.
Quit while you're ahead, lady.
Yeah.
Get
I'll call that my win.
No joke. I ripped that one and you got it over. That was good.
Thank you.
But
got on video.
We're looking to be cool on TikTok.
Yes. So if y'all have any ideas for us on TikTok, let us know on our Instagrams because I'm like, all right, what can we do on TikTok?
Well, we just talked about it before we went on. Like, okay, I'm learning about TikTok. Should we roll with it? Because, social media goes that way, right? The kids get it first.
Yes.
Us old farts end up
happened with
figuring out later.
Facebook, with Instagram. No doubt. Now they're in TikTok.
Yeah.
So it's these 15-second videos with music.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we can do something
definitely
cool. So we can't really dance. Well, I think we'll look a little goofy.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's leave that to the kiddos.
We'll leave that to the kiddos. So we're going to get Ryan doing like a between the leg run,
we'll mess with it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, yeah, let's do it.
You know?
So really, if y'all have any ideas, because we're open to anything.
No doubt.
Look, we have this beautiful venue. We got YouTube cameras.
That's exactly right.
We got this wireless mics, so we can kind of do whatever.
Decked out, dude.
Decked out.
Got double.
Well, we won't do whatever, but
that's right. We're gonna do a lot of
anything tennis related.
A lot of fun tennis things.
Yeah, sorry, got some constraints on that.
No doubt.
Yeah. All right.
So, addicted to sets. I can't underestimate or undersell how fired up, or addicted to sets Yetis, how fired up I am about this charity we're going to be a part of.
Oh, me too.
Opening doors for tennis kids and players of all. Exactly right.
Love it.
And beautiful weather.
We can't order this every time.
Dude,
Since we started.
We've had the most pristine weather.
I know.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, if you don't live here, it's not always like this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Ryan's got connections.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's, dude.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. This is why we live in Austin, by the way.
I know.
It's not -10 and snowing.
I know. My mom lives in Wyoming. My folks, live in Wyoming.
Kathy.
I say my mom, Kathy, because I was talking to her yesterday. She's like, oh, it's warm here. It's 38.
Oh my God.
I'm like, oh.
Oh, Michelle.
Yeah.
I do have one story to share on that. My folks moved to south of Chicago in early 2000s.
Cold.
Good Lord. And so I was in college at the time. I went up and visited for the college break, or the Christmas break, just like now.
Yeah.
And first off, I'd never felt needles in my face like that. That was the coldest and worst thing.
The worst. Yeah.
But I noticed that one day it got like up to 34. And there was dudes like shoveling snow in t-shirts, like it was no big deal.
Those dudes are tough. You get I grew up in Wyoming. You get so tough. It's funny how quickly you get so soft.
Yeah.
Living here, it's like below 60. I'm like, it's so cold.
No.
But yeah, you get so tough.
I guess you just get acclimated to wherever you're at. I mean, it's 100+ here for 3 months.
And you get used to it. You just go jump in the swimming pool.
That's exactly right.
That's what I do. Yeah.
But anyways, enough about how gorgeous our weather is.
Yeah. Should we talk some tennis?
Let's talk a little tennis.
Okay.
Here's what I'd like to cover today.
Okay.
And maybe something that isn't talked about enough.
Okay. Ooh.
But match preparation.
Okay.
Tournament preparation. What are the things we can do that are going to give you the best chance to be your best you out there? This
is actually a perfect topic.
Yeah.
Because the Australian Open is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
The pros are doing, well, probably a little different things. But, we're all human bodies, so it can't be that different.
They have a team around them, and something we were discussing as well just before we went on, when we were talking about how a lot of our young American athletes, we lose.
Is it the bee back?
I hope not. That son of a gun. We're in a standoff right now.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a while. But
you're gonna beat the bee.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But we lose. I shouldn't say lose is not the right word. A lot of the team sports end up taking a lot of our young athletes for a couple of reasons.
Sure.
One, just that is that in tennis, you're one person surrounded by a team.
Right.
Versus being on a team, right? And the camaraderie that we get from being in a team sport. So tennis can feel a little lonely.
Yes.
Like traveling to tournaments with maybe just dad or a coach or something like that.
Sure.
And so, and then the cost, as we said, it can deter. And we kind of talk about that with the charity and whatnot, but they have a team around them. They have a nutritionist, they have a sports psychologist, they have, of course, their trainer.
Sure.
There's a guy or a gal that is just their hitting partner.
Oh.
That travels the world with them just to hit.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's nuts.
It's a pretty sweet gig.
So what does a hitting partner make? Like, how much do you pay a hitting partner?
God, that's a great question.
Is that a weird question?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I read years ago that, let's put this in perspective, Andy Roddick's stringing bill, yearly, just his strings, and what he paid his stringer was 6 figures plus.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
That's like what it cost him in string.
But imagine that's your job, is stringing for Andy Roddick.
That's it.
So you got to get it right first, number one.
Also,
you're going to have some tired hands. That's a lot of stringing.
Sure. And also they, most players, like Pete Sampras famously had to have 10 rackets in his bag, all freshly strung.
Wow.
For each match. So if he didn't...
10?
Oh, yeah. And if he only used 2, they cut them all out and redo them again, even if he didn't touch them. Oh, yeah. They need to be absolutely strung for that match.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I restring at least once every 6 months.
Yeah, Joe and I were just talking about it. It's
I know.
I don't remember when I had this strung last week.
Oh, my gosh.
Take care, everybody.
10 in one match.
Well,
That's
that was
nuts.
Sampras. And he also, y'all, would put him in a freezer, purposely put him in a freezer.
What?
Right up till match so they were as tight and crisp as possible.
Ooh, well, you know what? It worked.
He did all right.
You know, it feels like
Yep.
these very extreme, quirky things seem to work, you know?
Tennis is full. What bunch? I say it all the time. A bunch of weirdos. Tennis players, like.
But it's working. Yeah.
We could talk about Nadal's 3,000 ticks and pulls and yanks and whatever.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
does. But
And he's like number one.
But that's all for that routine. That we're talking about preparation today. We're talking about getting yourself in that right place mentally and physically.
Yep.
So they're little ticks. Djokovic bounces the ball 20-something times before he serves.
Sure.
That's his.
Not just to piss off the other opponent.
possibly.
Yeah.
But stalling going on there. But these are all Pete with the thumb, right? The sweat. Remember that?
No.
Go check out an old video.
Yeah, I will. I will.
This is how he'd wipe his brow.
That just
Boom.
looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's some of them they develop, I think, just out of habit, and some of them it's very purposeful. Nadal is the most extreme example of that. But back to your question, what do I think a hitting partner makes? Plenty.
Yes.
I don't know, honestly, but
Okay.
I would say, well, first off, I can only imagine, again, I don't know this, but they're not paying for their travel or accommodations or meals. They're fully taken care of on the road.
Right.
That's all taken care of. I was a coach at an academy, at an international academy in New Braunfels at the John Newcomb tennis range.
Yeah.
We traveled with these kids around the country, and we didn't pay for anything. It was everything. Same thing.
Nice.
Accommodations, the whole nine.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were given a per diem for meals and whatnot. And famously, if you don't, well, I shouldn't say famously, but routinely, if you don't spend that money on what they gave you, I mean, it's just understood that you keep that money as well. But
Sure.
They pay them handsomely. They want somebody who is there 24/7 at their beck and call for the most part, and who's going to be able to hit with them whenever.
So if you're a hitting partner, do you need to be able to play all different types of shots? Meaning that, like, if you're Fed's hitting partner, and Fed's like, all right, give me the Nadal shots, give me huge topspin.
I would imagine.
Or I can't think of the other characteristics of
Yeah.
shots, but is that? Do they try to emulate, or not emulate, but sort of copy who they're going to be playing to warm up? Or is it just like, what is the purpose of the hitting partner? Because I might want one.
Right.
That's for Christmas.
I was just about to say, put it on your next year's wish list.
Joe, no bowling ball. Hitting partner.
That's so funny.
No, but it almost feels a little too like, golfers have these caddies that are amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel as a golfer, I'm like, oh, if I had a caddy, if I had like Tiger Woods caddy, then maybe I could play like Tiger Woods, clearly. Not like Tiger Woods. But those little, actually big things.
Yeah.
And they also have perfectly balanced golf clubs.
No doubt.
They have the perfect equipment, the perfect people around you. How any of us, what's the best any of us could be? Like, how much better could we be? Like, could I go to Wimbledon? You promised.
You got it,
Yeah.
Michelle. The
if I had a team and a hitting partner and the right equipment and 10 rackets a match, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the sky's the limit for any of us if we had that professional team surrounding us, right? I mean, and to answer your question about the hitting partner, I believe that, yes, you're going to Wimbledon. I'll get that out of the way.
You promised like 3 podcasts ago. Y'all heard it.
You have a good memory, and if we're being recorded.
And I was going to be play like Djokovic. That was the other thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
But they definitely would prepare for each opponent, right? At this point, though.
Oh, right.
At this point, they have played, let's use Fed as an example, other than guys new to the tour or, not, quite honestly, not on his radar, that aren't, he wouldn't match up with yet because they haven't got a ranking up yet.
Sure.
He's played everyone. He knows everyone's game, right? Now, let's say you don't. You certainly have a coach that scouts, right? Scouts your next opponent. So
they have a scouter.
Of course. So they're there in the box during your match.
Okay.
But or the pros match, but they're all, obviously, we just see them on camera then, but they're doing their homework 24/7 on who they could potentially match up with, and here's their strengths, and here's what we're going to do.
So somebody else is doing all that homework.
All of it for them. Yeah. And so, but a hitting partner is I need somebody to be consistent, hit a bunch of balls with me, get me warm, do whatever I want to do on the court, but it's mainly just to keep them on their toes, fresh.
Is it mental at all? Is it like, are they sitting there complimenting them while they're doing it? Oh, great shot, Fed! You're looking so good.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know.
I could use one of those.
Right. That's what we need. Just, I don't care how I do. Just make sure you say good things.
Just say good things. Pump up my ego. That's what I need. Yeah, they don't even need to hit against me. Just say nice things.
I could do that. No, but
that's a whole new drill.
I'm just gonna email Fed and be like, I could make you feel real.
I could just be your complimenter.
Real solid, buddy. No, again, I don't know 110% how much the hitting partner says, oh, hey man, this is what I saw, right? Because what I've seen, before is that the hitting partner is literally the backboard,
okay,
and the coach is over here on the side with the player talking about whatever they need to talk to him about.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So they're pretty silent. They just be a backboard for me.
Okay.
Do what I need.
I could do that.
So, yeah, right?
Yeah.
So have you seen, this is also another thing that's similar to that. NFL games, they'll have, so let's say that the backup needs to start warming up on the sidelines.
Sure.
The quarterback.
Yeah.
They'll have the quarterback and a guy.
Okay.
And then the guy that he's thrown to. And so the quarterback throws to the guy. The other guy throws to his buddy standing next to him so he doesn't have to catch it.
Ow!
Because broken finger, anything could happen, right? So he literally just throws. There's a guy that just stands here and just catches the return pass.
And he hands it to the quarterback.
So
what's that guy called?
I don't know what his job
The
too.
loser?
Catcher. I don't know.
Yeah, it just feels like such a weird job. So somebody in the NFL is paid probably hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Lots of money.
Yeah.
To just catch a ball and hand it to the quarterback.
I could do that too.
Yeah.
There's so many of these things I could do.
There's so many good jobs.
That I didn't know.
I know.
Listed on your resume.
Yeah.
Ball catcher. Not in the games.
I was the Robin to the Batman quarterback.
Yes. Well put. Yeah.
Robin is my
the Robin catcher. I like it.
But isn't that crazy, right? And so these and they're usually these players, of course, were either Division I top-notch players themselves.
Sure.
What had to have been maybe tried to make it on the tour, didn't. This is a nice backup career, secondary career.
Sure.
And so there's somebody that literally travels the world with these people.
Wow.
And
all right, you're turning your phone off, Ryan.
My bad. I thought it was off.
Turn it off.
I thought it was off, dude.
Cut it. Unless it's Cliff. Then answer it.
Yes.
Hi, Cliff.
But oh, by the way, I heard Andy Roddick was on the radio the other day talking about the Andy Roddick Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Here in town.
That's here in Austin.
Of course, I would,
We absolutely
we've talked about it, but I'd love to have Andy on as well.
Yeah, I know. This is for inner city kids getting into tennis.
Absolutely.
So we'd love
That's what his foundation.
Give you some of our tennis rackets. Let's do it. All right.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
But anyways, so on that note, what you'll see is, of course, they keep them fresh between matches and whatever, again, warming them up, whatever. But you'll, especially at the Open, they have, like when the commentators are inside talking, you'll see on the practice courts behind them. I mean, there's just courts right at the Open and all the slams and all the places just for warm up, just for practice.
Oh, right.
That are off camera for the most part.
Sure.
But this is something. This kind of leads me to my first point about getting ready for a match, getting ready for a tournament. You know that little 5-minute warm up that they give us, whatever. We go out to the court, we say hi, and we have about a 5-minute warm up.
Yeah.
We call it a warm up.
Yeah.
But hell, that ain't enough time to get. I mean,
the warm up. I'm having air quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's barely enough time to hit even 10 of each shot. I mean, so here's my recommendation. If we can get out there early, and listen, I know we got life and kids at school, and sometimes matches are early at 9:30 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that's the WTTA here, right? There's 9:30 matches.
Yeah.
I get it, but if you can, it is so valuable, y'all, to get a 25-minute warm-up in.
Right.
It can be your doubles partner.
Right.
Go cross court and go both ways, because obviously both of you are going to play on one side or the other.
Sure.
And get that rhythm, get that fluidity, get that movement. Find that sweet spot. Find that 75% that we talk so much about. Hit a bunch of volleys. Hit some overheads. Work up a little bit of a sweat. And then give yourself, I don't know, another 20, 25 minutes before you go on court to kind of not cool down, but get back into a good place.
Sure.
And I would say that's something that us as club players don't do nearly enough of.
Well, so I've it's a great point, Ryan, and I've played in a ton of tournaments, I have to say, and sometimes in like team tournaments, and we get the 5-minute warm up, but a lot of times the courts aren't available to do that, right? So what do you recommend if there's no courts available?
So there's a number. Most places have city courts, courts in the park. There's typically some courts accessible to the public.
Okay.
That you get harder and taxpayer dollars go towards, of course. And if that's possible, and that's a very good point. What if I show up to the club and we're jam packed, right?
It's all the courts are booked.
Those are obviously options.
Sure.
I know here in where I started when I started coaching at Lakeway. That's where I started coaching. I found where I could find. So that's an option for you. Get out there. You could, I don't know, maybe book a court early enough if that's an option at your club.
Should you just do some sort of warm up? I mean, can you do sort of a fake? Like you're on a.
I'm with you. Okay. So my tournament kids, this is imperative for young tournament players. Before a tournament, especially before the first match, absolutely imperative. It is night and day what that difference could make for a junior. Is to get out there for at least 30 minutes and get everything in.
Sure.
Parents will contact me and say, listen, hey, they give a tournament on Saturday morning. Are you free from 8 to 8:30 for a warm-up? I'll warm kids up. And so this is something you could do with your local pro. That's another option, right?
Sure.
I've seen pros do that. They specifically are hired by teams to warm them up for 30, 45 minutes prior to especially an important match.
Sure.
But I've seen kids do this in the parking lot as well. Volley to each other. Air volley. Like there's a net, like a reflex volley. Now, not hard, of course, but just kind of keep it in play like you had.
Getting used to it.
Exactly.
Getting the feel.
Getting your feet moving. The feel is a great point.
Okay.
Is a great word. And so there's some things we can do if let's say that you're strapped for court space.
Sure.
I've seen kids do it when exactly that happened. It rained at a tournament. I don't know. The courts were wet and they're getting dry and they want to warm up.
Sure.
I've seen them do that. So, those are options at the very least for volleying. Seeing how as we play doubles mainly, that. Why not get at least your volleys in? But any which way you can make it happen, whether it's through city courts, at your club, whatever, I encourage y'all, get yourself a 20 to 30 minute warm up.
Okay.
Rhythm is such an important word in our sport, and getting in that flow and getting the body into that state before you wake up halfway through the first set down 3-1 going, okay, I guess it's time to, I'm finally starting to feel okay, right? Physically.
So I have a question on that, because I did play in a tournament this summer, and it was 110 degrees. It was friggin' hot. Yeah. And we played like 6 matches over 2 days. We made it to the finals. Yeah, I've talked about this a lot because we got second. Yeah. And I'm still traumatized because it was like we barely beat the number 1 seed.
Good.
We weren't seeded, so we had to play the most amount of times. Yeah. And we're in our, 40s-ish. Mm-hmm. So, in that heat where you want to conserve and you're going to play a lot. What do you think about warming up in those situations? And on that note, can you do like a mental warm up or something like that? I mean, what's your advice?
That's on the mental side of things. Absolutely that was next up on my list to dive into. You're on it, dead on it.
Thank you.
But fantastic question. We gushed about this weather. This is December the 24th. You're in short sleeve.
Yes. It's Christmas tomorrow.
Yeah, as you guys can imagine out there, and some of our fans that are, or listeners that do play in the South, it's 100 plus, and it's hotter than hell.
It's hot.
And I'll tell you what.
It's draining.
Off the court, too. It bounces off the asphalt. It's even hotter.
It's even hotter.
So it won't take very long to get warm in those conditions, right? If we're calling it a warm-up, right?
Yeah. You're warm before you step on the court.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think a condensed version of that, maybe a shorter version of that.
Okay.
But what it's really about is, again, getting your body into that place.
Okay.
Getting your body into that match-ready mode.
Sure.
So that it doesn't happen 2, 3, 4 games into the first set.
Right.
But for us people that live in the South and especially in Texas and hell, you guys used to live in Phoenix, right?
Oh.
I mean,
it was even hotter. Yeah. Whoa. But we didn't play tennis then.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we played golf.
Okay. That's a lot.
But it's nice because you have your carts. Yeah, and you get that nice wind going. It's great.
When did you pick up tennis? Tell me again.
When I was, so it was 6 years ago when I was 40.
Wow.
And no, we joined the country club here to play golf.
Right.
And maybe play a little bit of tennis.
How cool is
Then
that?
I got involved in rookie league. That's where you learn things like how to keep score,
Amen.
where to put the ball. Like, I didn't even know. I'm like, these girls are in these little squirts. They have no pockets. What do they do with the ball?
Yeah.
I don't know. Figured that out in rookie league. But then I got this little addiction going.
No doubt.
Because it's so fun. And
Absolutely.
I don't play golf anymore. Like, I tried out for my LPGA card in Scottsdale, Arizona. I was so into golf. We were huge into golf.
I knew that.
Yeah. Now I haven't played in years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That you were on the verge of going pro. That's ridiculous.
Well, to be a teaching pro.
But still, that's what I mean, is to be able to be a certified instructor. I mean, you obviously played it at a very, very high level.
Yeah.
Well, and here you sit today. We got a sweet tennis podcast. You bought a club.
I know. It shows
tennis.
how addictive it is and how
really
fun.
is.
But I just love it. I love all the different aspects of it. And I think that's why I'm so excited about helping to get more kids into it. Right?
I'm thrilled.
So,
I'm over the moon about this opportunity.
Yeah.
Or this little venture that we're going to go on.
Me
or that
too.
aspect of it. Well, side note,
Fabulous.
the fact that you're as good as you are already in such a short amount of time is pretty awesome too.
Well, thank you.
Come on.
Well,
I mean,
it's because of your great coaching.
That's right. I set that one up. Nice job, Michelle.
Now I'm ready to be somebody's hitter. I'm ready, Fed. You need like a hitter. I'm a great lobber. I'm sure he needs practice.
If you're looking, I'm available.
Well, I'm not really available. I'm very, but.
Wasn't our tip of the day on the overhead today?
Oh, it was.
So you could be a wonderful lobber if they need overhead practice.
Yes.
I
am your girl. I'm your girl. Okay.
So
anyway.
Sure. Cut that down if it's boiling hot, especially if you know you're going to play another match that day.
Sure.
Now, here.
Yes, because a lot of times you are in the tournaments. You're going to play, like we're saying. You win, you play more and more and more.
Yeah.
So you have to conserve. And as for kids, they probably have infinite energy.
True.
But for us, middle-aged or,
Well, and I tell you what,
it's tough.
You're a youngin'.
That's true.
It's a lifelong sport. We've said it many times, how many senior veterans have we seen that whipped our ass?
Oh,
and
a lot.
Have been playing for a long, long time. So, beware first off. If you see a grandma or a grandpa get on the court, watch out. They know what the hell they're doing. When
ready.
their grandkids are cheering on and you're walking off after they beat you, that's always fun.
It's like Sal.
Big Sal.
Big Sal.
Oh man, he'll be 70. That's something else.
That's amazing.
He's still playing singles.
Singles. Yeah.
But it's a lifelong sport, and sure, we have to we're battling our body. Father Time is undefeated.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Father Time is undefeated. It gets all of us. So managing your body, energy conservation, especially as we get a few more miles on us.
Sure.
And get a little bit older is very important.
Yeah.
But I'll say this too. If you know you're playing multiple rounds, you're in a tournament, you don't need the 30-minute warm-up before every match.
Okay.
The 5-minute hit around before you get on is just fine.
Good.
You've already played. You've already got your body in that mode.
Sure. Yes.
But before that first match, so important.
No, I hear you.
That.
I hear you. Because when I'm playing the second match, I'm in it already. Yeah. Your brain, your body,
exactly.
it's ready. I totally hear what you're saying.
I gotta tell you something funny too. So, some days, for whatever reason, I won't have morning lessons, or I start my day at noon or 1, let's say, and I always notice that as a pro from teaching. I always notice that, like, when I start at 8 or 7 and I hit my stride and I start, same thing. When I'm in the mode,
really?
I'll notice it. If I start at 12 or 1, it's harder for me to, not harder, I feel like it takes longer before I'm, in my mind, clicked in and locked in as good as I can be.
You have to warm up yourself.
Got to get warmed up.
Wow.
No doubt. And another thing, here's another funny thing.
Yeah.
I had just one lesson the other day, and we had 1,000,001 things going on with Christmas and this, that, and the other. And you know what I thought to myself?
What?
And we could have easily moved it and potentially rescheduled, but I thought to myself, you know what? No, I'm going to go do it, because then I'll get locked in to my mode for the day and I'll kill the rest of the day. That's what I thought.
Really?
That's one of the 3 thoughts I thought.
I love that.
But
proves your point.
Yes, getting yourself, and even from a teaching pro standpoint,
sure,
is getting ourselves getting here, getting right, getting mentally, knowing what I want to teach that day.
Sure.
Getting my body going, and so that I can be at my best for you guys.
Right.
Is very similar to you guys getting out there and getting it. We said it last week too. If you don't check it, and this goes on to the mental thing, but if you don't check whatever's going on in your life in your head at the gate too, that could 100% affect what goes on the court. So to that point, what I tell my juniors, y'all, is before you step, we're right here on the court, before you step from the green into the blue, this is your octagon. This is your ring.
Okay.
You wouldn't see a boxer, you wouldn't see a fighter get into the ring. When they, again, I've made it no secret, I'm a big UFC fan, but when they announce them, they've been in that back room getting locked in, knowing exactly what they want to do, warmed up. So by the time they call their name and they walk down to the ring, they are as prepared mentally and physically as they possibly can be.
Right.
This also is a one-on-one or a two-on-two at most, and it's very, very similar. So I tell my kids, don't step foot onto that court till you're ready mentally to go to war, go to battle.
I love that. Ryan, I really, really love that. It's so mental, right?
And it controls everything physically.
Yes.
So as we've said many times here, y'all, and Michelle, you've heard it from me for years now in drill, it's the most mentally and physically demanding sport on the planet.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Hell, we'd all be lying to ourselves if we haven't been defeated in both ways many, many times.
Many times.
Right? And so get your body right by getting out here and getting it into the tennis mode. The body knows what it's supposed to do when you set it. Well, sorry. It will follow what you set it to do and will follow that pattern. So you've got to get it into that rhythmic place.
Sure. Through
the things we talked about in another podcast, little footwork steps, knowing when to set, swinging through, recovery. Get your body going into that mode.
Sure.
And then mentally, what it's about is things again we've covered, being in the now.
Sure.
Having a game plan.
Sure.
We can't execute a plan you don't have. Be on the hunt immediately to find weaknesses, how you're going to go after these opponents.
Right.
Be out of your own head where it's like, well, I'm just going to kind of ease into the match and hope I don't miss too many shots and let's see what happens. That's dangerous. It comes from a good place, but it's really dangerous to have that mentality. Something I often tell people in doubles, when of course we start traditional one up, one back.
Sure.
Is can I get up? Can I show you something real quick?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yes.
Yeah. So
we're testing out the new mics.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So we got some. How about it? We have a racket.
Yeah.
So anyways, y'all, I won't go too far so I can stay in the shop, but we start up here at the net, and I tell people all the time, look, we're looking to cut and poach and take care of your partner and do what they've set you up. Instead of, hey, I'm going to play it safe early in the match and I'm not going to go, I'm just going to wait to have an opportunity. I say exactly the opposite. While you're freshest, while you're at your best, your most healthy is not the right word, most energy, I say cut early and often. Make it happen right away. Establish the fact that you can, and hopefully we can get this in, but a split and a cut, right?
Yeah, okay.
Getting in there and showing the opponent, Michelle, right away.
I love it.
That you're capable and willing, and right off the bat, if you can make them have that conversation at the baseline. Sure. Well, hell, she's cutting already, and we got to keep it away from her.
Right.
You're instantly putting them in a position where they have to go, what can we do different? What do we have to do to adjust?
Sure.
Versus allowing them to get into a comfortable place.
Right.
And do what we were trying to do. Did I move my chair?
I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah, there you go. You can move it back and do whatever you want. And you can move that back up too if you need to. Is it all good?
Yeah, I'm great.
Okay.
We're in great shape.
Well, and it's more offensive too. You're right. It's sending them a message right away.
Yeah.
Like, and they might be a little sleepy. Like they're just starting out. They're like, oh, crap.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I love it.
So that goes into tactics, but also, again, am I in the right place mentally? Am I looking for the right things right away? Am I looking to establish that I can, let's say the example I just used, make a cut, make a move.
Sure.
And so once we get into that right place mentally, so what we're trying to do, of course, is be our very best physically.
Yep.
Rhythm and get it into that match mode, because to your point a minute ago, the second match always feels like I get into the swing of things a lot quicker, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because you've set that already.
Yes.
And you've already played
And usually, I mean, if you're at the second match, generally you've won. So you have a little more confidence. So you're like, all right, got through the first one.
Feeling all right.
But you're right, with the very first one. And it's so key that you win that first one.
Yeah.
Because, or you're in the consolation bracket, which sucks, as we all know. You don't want to be in the consolation bracket. Well, you just don't get the number of points. You have to work so much harder.
Exactly.
So I think it's a great point. So I have a question for you on prep from because I've seen different strategies on this and I've heard different things, and maybe it's different for different humans. But how much do you think you should research the people that you're playing before you play? Because I've seen people go to very extremes to research the heck out of the people they're playing.
Yeah.
And I've seen the other side where people are like, I don't want to know anything.
Right.
I just want to show up and play because they feel like it distracts them. So do you have advice on that?
Wonderful question. Of course. Personally for me,
Yes.
I didn't want to know anything about their success, their record, their seeding.
Okay.
Now you can't get around knowing the seeding. It's right there on the draw.
Sure.
But I didn't want to focus on any of that. I just wanted to know style, who they were, what they brought to the table, strengths, weaknesses, etc.
Okay.
That for me personally, that's all I want to know. I also, and it depends on the person you are as well.
Right.
If those things get in your head, go out there clean slate.
Right.
I have a good story on that. So
Let's hear it.
junior year, I transferred.
Is this about Juan? I'm just kidding.
No, that's son of a gun.
Okay.
No harm.
Sorry.
Juan,
We won't bring Juan up.
very sore about
Very
Juan
sore.
still.
Okay.
No, this guy's
No.
name was Jonas, and he was from Sweden. And
Oh.
so junior year, I transferred schools. I went to the University of Texas, San Antonio.
Okay.
Shout out Roadrunners.
Go. Ooh. That's why you're so fast.
Yeah, cool.
You go.
By the way, the West, just a little shout out as well to the Westlake Chapelles. Or how do you say that?
I don't know.
Chaparral.
Chaparral.
That's a Roadrunner.
No.
I think it is.
Wow.
Almost certainly.
Okay.
They just over the last weekend won the 6A state title in football.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Good job, Westlake.
Yeah, we live here in Lake Travis, kind of rivals,
We
but
kind of rivals,
still.
but still, big deal.
we lost in the semifinals.
I know, it was really close.
But anyways,
Big football area.
Westlake Chaparrals, congratulations.
Nice job.
6A.
We celebrate all athletic,
That's right.
amazing endeavors.
Well, right here-
even if you're,
Even if
we
you're
are
a
rivals.
Roadrunner,
We're rivals. Yeah.
Stupid Roadrunners. But anyway,
Well, they're fast. Anyway, you're a Roadrunner too. So
Coach-
we like Roadrunners.
Coach says to the new incoming guys, he said, "All right, your first challenge matches, I'm going to have you play my guys that were already on the team." So, but he didn't tell us who they were, like what seed, what they were on the team, like what number they were on the team.
Okay.
So I get out there. Jonas, by the way, had a man's beard at 20. Humongous. It looked like he had two kids and a mortgage at this point. Grown man. I'm this little twerpy dude coming in, 20 years old. First serve, Michelle, this is no joke.
Yeah.
He hits it past me. I swung and missed on the first point.
Oh my God.
130 mile an hour bomb.
Oh.
This is how I'm feeling at this point.
So were you nervous going in?
course.
Oh, or
Well,
you were
yeah.
like, all right, I'm going to show them these
Of course,
guys who
listen,
I am.
I believed in me.
Yes.
But new school, new
people. And I would think you want them to like you. Like you want to get along too. So it's kind of an uncomfortable situation.
Certainly.
Right?
And there's this, I think we can attest to this on our teams out there.
Yeah.
There's this, we've talked about it actually. There's this
Yeah.
half like, I want to be part of the, I want to be accepted as part of the new team.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the existing team going, not so you got to earn your way in kind of, and not so fast, buddy. You got to show me what you got if you want to be deserving to be on my court. Right?
Yes,
totally.
So
there's this, we can all
happens
attest.
in ladies tennis.
Oh my.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Welcome, but you got to prove your worth.
Got to prove your worth.
But also,
yeah.
we're better than you, so we need you to know that I was this last year. You're incoming, trying to take my spot.
Yeah.
Right. And so
it's not easy.
So it's this interesting dynamic.
Oh, so I'm sure he wants to show you his amazing serve, just to show you, hey, buddy.
Hey, young buck.
Yeah.
I've been here. And, and you're not coming to take my spot, right?
No.
There's a little bit of that.
Dang.
Right. So. First point, I'm nervous, anxious to make a good impression. All the things we just said.
Yeah.
I end up, very first point, he serves a ball right past me, and I'm like, great.
You're like, that's not a good start.
No. So I lose 7-6 in the third. Barely lose.
Oh,
right?
but that's a good showing.
Yeah, it was 4-6, 7. 4-6, 7. Sorry. 6'4", 5'7", 7'6".
You know what? That's almost kind of perfect, I would say, because it shows you're a player.
Yeah.
He won. You know, he's been there. Yeah. You're like, no, I wanted to win.
Of course. You see it all over my face.
I do. Yeah.
Well, after I got, had time to come back down to earth and think about it, of course, I was happy that I wasn't smoked off the court and won a set. And
that's amazing. Yeah.
So coach pulls me aside after the match and said, "Hey, good job out there, man." He said, "That was my number one player from last year. Number one on the team."
High five.
Thanks, dude.
Boom.
Yeah. I know. That's what I was thinking.
You're like,
but then I'm like, of course, my second thought is I could have beat.
Oh.
And of course,
we're all competitors.
He also said, with the grain, also made sure to throw things. Yeah, well, he hadn't played all summer. He's just getting.
Oh, they got to get.
Thanks, coach. But he said, "Great job, man." Not only that, he was the Southland Conference Player of the Year, the whole conference.
Right, that's fabulous.
Well, and so it was a good showing, right? My point to all this is, if I would have known he was the number one player,
sure.
If I would have known that he was the Conference Player of the Year, would I have been able to maybe block that out and be able to bring the best out of my game? I don't know.
I think then maybe you would have won. I know for me, if I know, like, oh, this is the whatever.
I can take him down.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Because I like that challenge.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
Yeah.
And maybe you're right. I think it's very individual. It's
Depends
absolutely
on the player.
individual.
Depends on the player.
Yeah.
Because and it's no shame in admitting, hey, those things psych me out. I don't want to know. Right? There's no shame in that.
Sure.
So, but if you are a data collector, if you are a person that wants to feel completely prepared by having every resource made available to you,
sure,
go study them. Why not?
Why not?
I know. I have clients that know everybody's dynamic rating, their rating. They study USTA all
for the last 5 years.
Day long, match
their weighted
records.
Average.
They're like, I don't know how she got moved up. She lost 3-6, 6-1 last Thursday. Anyways, right? So we know these people
very well. Yeah, and it's all good, right?
No doubt.
They have all the data. They have all the information.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a data collector.
Yes.
You're a numbers person.
Yeah. But I like to know the data, but if I overthink things, then I don't let my body just flow. I think that's an important thing. Like I don't want to overthink it.
Yes.
As we see.
Hard to do.
Exactly. There's that. I feel there's that right sweet spot that you're right. It's hard to get to that point. Because if I focus too much on the numbers, I'll psych myself out. Yeah.
Well, and I think that we're all human, and we'd be silly not to admit that that's possible for all of us.
Sure.
A self-fulfilling prophecy is a real thing. Something you don't want to happen so bad, and you overthink so hard that it actually happens.
Yes.
Right.
Totally.
Is a real deal.
Yep.
And I'm a big believer of not putting things out into the consciousness, the universe that can't help you, and saying things or uttering things or believing things that aren't positive things. So
I love that.
They're a person over there too. They're thinking the same things we're thinking. They're trying to combat those things.
But imagine how he felt.
Right.
Because God, here's this new guy.
Yeah.
Because he's the big dog
on campus.
He's the big dog, right? He's the alpha male out there. And if you'd have beat him, that would have been a big deal.
Right. And I don't know that it would have done anything for you're now top 3 or anything, but it would have just been it would have been humbling for him first off, but also it would have been a good. I think it still caught coach's eye, and so.
Of course.
That's just a personal experience that I had with when I went, oh my God, I did not know that. Right?
Yeah.
And, but
that's a great story.
I'm kind of with you too. I believe in me a lot, and I would like to think that, there's a huge challenge in front of me. I want to go attack it.
I want to get it.
You know what I mean?
I want it. Yeah, exactly.
But that's, think about this too. Fed has famously talked about he doesn't know which is harder, getting to the top or staying on top.
Oh, 1,000 times.
And everybody's gunning for you.
Everybody's gunning for you.
So being that seeded player, being that player that's expected to win, there's a whole set of emotions and responsibilities and things that come with that as well. Because what you just said, what if I would have taken him down? And they got to deal with that. Right?
Yeah. No, it's absolutely true.
So
you try just a little bit harder against that. In that tournament I played in the summer, I agree. The number 1 seed we're like, all right, if we can beat the number one seed, I do feel like we brought a little bit more because we did know that they were the number one seed. I do have to say.
And so for you, that motivates you heavily. And
yes,
for some people, it could discourage. So I think
that's a good point.
I think knowing who you are and knowing what works for you, fake it. I tell people all the time, fake it till you make it. Like if you don't believe in your poach, the example I just gave, but you know you're capable of it, but you don't have the confidence yet.
Right.
Go a couple times when you should with authority.
Sure.
You make a few of those, they might believe it and you might not.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. No, totally. So you're right. They don't know you at all. They're collecting the data. And that's a really good thing to take advantage of, is that at the very beginning, whatever you show them, that's all they know.
They tend to believe right away.
Yes. Yeah. They give you full credit. Yeah. So play amazing for the first 2 minutes. You'll be fine.
Try not to miss it. Try not to lose you on the first couple. No, but
good advice.
Yeah, thank you. But believing positive things too is Novak famously was quoted after that epic Wimbledon final this last year of when they were chanting Roger's name. Did you hear about this?
I think so.
And maybe I've said it already, but
say it again.
I will. He said, I chose to hear them chanting Novak. He literally, and he has a sports psychologist, of course.
Of course.
This was definitely a play out of that book.
Sure.
But if you genuinely go to that place where he heard that, he allowed that to motivate him.
Wow.
Even though it was Roger.
Wow.
So
that's smart.
The mental, what we have going on up here and what we choose to pay attention to.
Sure.
And what we choose to attach our brain to, it's up to you.
Sure.
It's crazy that we train so physically, or we train so much physically. And us as club players don't necessarily work. I shouldn't say that, but I don't. There's not a program. I don't have a class for you to sign up where I can say, "Here's how you become mentally stronger." You just got to practice it while you're out there.
Sure. Well, something else that happened in that tournament, just to because we're just like Djokovic, but no, but the similar something that happened to you that could happen to you as a club player. So we were in the finals. It was in front of where everybody could watch. It went to the tiebreak, and when we made a mistake, the other team would cheer, and it really got in our heads in a negative way. And it's not like they were chanting their names; they were cheering for our mistakes, which is so rude.
Bush League.
So Bush League,
for sure. Yeah, don't do that.
That's bad. No, it was bad, right?
It's some people. There's some. There's some things that people or players are willing to do, or lows that there's nothing too low, right? That they won't be willing to do in the name of, I don't know, winning a city. Not to take any credit away from, but what's meant to be a fun.
They got a nicer coffee mug than we did.
Yeah,
it was a different color.
Great job. Yeah. Nailed
well
it,
done. Yeah.
But there's a good example of how you can turn any outside. Anything going on out there, you can internalize and believe what you want to believe.
Sure.
And think what you want to think on things. And so,
right.
This is we could talk. We could do the next 25 podcasts on things mentally that we could do to be stronger.
Totally.
But as far as getting ourselves, and that's a great point. Getting tunnel vision. That's another thing. Blocking any distractions out.
Sure.
It's a gentleman's sport. It's a gentle person's sport.
Right.
The umpire obviously will, if it's too loud, will ask the crowd to quiet down right before a serve or something.
Right.
They have to quiet all down. So there's no distractions allowed. However, that's not. We don't have an umpire, and people are walking around. They're talking. They're clapping. They're doing this.
Right.
So, but that's just one more piece of being match ready is being able to train yourself enough to block everything.
To block it out.
It's just you and your partner.
Right.
I
think that's a great point. We should do drill on that.
A couple other little just physical things we can do. Stretching. We don't do enough stretching.
Oh!
Before we get on the court.
Stretching. What a good idea.
Nice segue ahead there.
Well, no, but it's true. It's something that we did like in PE. I remember growing up. We were always stretching.
Yep.
I never stretched as an adult. It's terrible.
Well, and as we put the years on and our bodies aren't as responsive, I think it's more and more important.
Yeah.
the pros have an extensive pre-match stretching routine.
They do?
And post-match.
Really?
Oh, of course.
Well, I'm going to start stretching more.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, get limber and loose and get as fluid as you can. This goes right into, I meant to say this earlier, but this goes right into the warm-up.
Sure.
There's a young lady here in Lakeway that trains with a local pro that we know that worked at the World of Tennis here in Lakeway. She's top 250 in the world. This young lady, and
nice. I think I've met her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She played at UCLA.
Yeah.
Forgive me, her name slips my mind at the moment, but she's training hard for the Aussie Open right now. Qualifying.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, so a place that I work at, or used to work at, I would see her often with her pro.
Yeah.
And she shows up a good 20 to 25 minutes before he does.
Really?
There's the bee.
Oh, shit.
It's right on there.
Oh,
it is, but
dang bee.
Speaking of putting it out into the universe. No, but anyhow, right on you.
I know, thank you.
You're welcome. But I'll be teaching a lesson already. Son of a gun. I'll be doing a lesson already.
Yeah.
And she'll show up 30 minutes ahead of her scheduled lesson.
Wow.
And
keep talking. I got it.
No, you're good.
I got it.
And I'll watch her just before a lesson, her routine.
Yeah.
She stretches, of course, and a lot of things you would just normal stretches. You would just get yourself arms and legs limber.
Sure.
But then she has a absolute specific routine around the court. How she just sidesteps. She takes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. She takes. The thing's closed. She takes laps around the court.
Yeah.
She does all kinds of like stretching her hips out.
Right.
Different moves.
Keep talking. Oh, wow.
Good Lord.
That one's on your face.
Good Lord.
Oh.
Specific moves across the court.
Sure.
The warm up. She spends 20 to 25 minutes getting her body ready. She's 22, so it's not.
So we'd all be tired just from her
She's in wonderful
warm
shape.
out. Yeah.
But she does all of that before she hits a ball.
Wow.
Just to get herself.
That's amazing.
Sorry, Michelle.
No.
But just to get herself absolutely ready for a lesson, for anything. It's
I'm
just
so
right
impressed.
in my ear.
So we all should all do that.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to do.
You got your wine again?
Yeah, it's right over here, buddy.
There you go.
But
it's a wine drinking bees. That's
it's
what
the holidays.
Now we're by all these vineyards. They're like, we have some wine drinking bees.
There's a sweet vineyard just down the road.
I know. Come visit.
But anyways, that's her pre-lesson routine. She gets that one. Yeah.
Is it on
we
me?
called no.
Okay.
We called him and he came.
Okay.
But
wow.
There you go. Just to put that in perspective. I can't not believe this thing is just will not.
This is going to be a great video. Like what are they doing? Are they dancing? No.
We're practicing for TikTok. Is what
I know. This is a TikTok thing. We need some music.
I just gave him a backhand. I literally hit him. So let's see what happens.
Nice. Good job.
But anyhow, there you go. That's not even pre-match.
Right.
That's her training now. Of course, she's looking to go on the tour. She's top 250 in the world. She's on the tour.
I'm so excited. I hope she makes it.
I really do.
That is so cool.
We talked too about how Andreescu was in the qualifying for the U.S. Open 2 years ago and then won it this year. Sorry, last year. 18 had to qualify.
Really? Wow.
And then won it. So things happen quickly, happen quickly for these guys.
Sure.
But stretching, getting your body limber and loose is such a physical sport. I think that's we can add that as
we can all do that. We should all do that. And then that helps with prevent injury as well.
No doubt about it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so many people are get injured playing tennis because we're not warming up, we're not stretching. I think that's a great point.
I think that's a lot of it. And back to this being a lifelong sport, Michelle, doing every little thing you can for this very physical sport to get another match out of yourself, another year, another little bit out of yourself. Why not? It keeps us in good shape.
Yes.
But this goes beyond getting match ready. This goes into keeping you on the court.
I'm looking. Just my hair. It's not the bee.
Keeping you on the court. As long as you possibly can.
I think that's a great New Year's resolution that I'm going to take on.
Yeah.
Just to stretch more. I
love it.
Up and stretch. Yeah.
Put that on y'all's list out there, y'all. If you other than coming to our podcast, joining our club, Other than that.
Number 1, number 2. Then come here and stretch.
That's right.
And warm up.
Stretch and warm up.
I like it.
I think we oftentimes in life too go, if I could just set aside 20 minutes of my day for whatever, we all, you have time for what you make time for. That's the truth.
That's the truth.
And so, if you can make that a priority, I think the benefits are immense of what we could really gain out of just, 20-minute warm up.
Totally.
5 minute stretch, a 20-minute warm up before my first match.
Yeah.
And I challenge y'all out there to catalog that. See if that doesn't make a difference in your matches out there.
You know what? I kind of love that. Like, keep your own data. Chronicle and what you did and how it correlates to the outcome.
Yeah.
I like it.
Why not?
Yeah.
This is when I started stretching and making sure I had a pre-match warm-up. And this is, you can...
These are my results.
Exactly. Graph your results a little bit.
Yeah, show a graph.
So
I like it.
Nerd out a little bit on
Send
that.
Send it to us. We'll show it. I think that'd be really fun.
I'm serious.
I do too.
Absolutely. If somebody said, hey, this is my results after that, send it to us. We'll put your shout out.
That'd be so cool.
We'll put your shout out. We'll show your
Joe's going to do it. And he's going to have this amazing 3D thing we can't even read.
He's probably doing push-ups right now.
That's true. That's true. So my husband, we talk about him all the time.
Yeah.
So he's in great shape. He's working all the time. Yeah. But he's also a PhD physicist.
God,
so
amazing.
Yeah, so he'll give us some graphs, man. We'll be like, I'm not sure what that says, but it looks cool.
We'll have him on to decode this ridiculously detailed, intelligent graph.
That would be really fun. I'd be like, this is what this means. Yeah.
He's a smart dude.
He's a smart dude.
He's a super smart guy.
Love it. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I actually, we didn't plan on saying that, but I love that. If somebody, if you guys, I challenge you to chronicle and see if those results make a difference.
Yeah.
It also, not just the physical, but the mental too. Getting yourself, taking a moment to get into your own head and say, let me get myself centered. Let me get focused on the right things. Let me remove any negative thoughts. Let me be the best I can mentally on this. And let's be honest, the mind controls the body. No secret there. And so if you're not great here, it can and will affect, despite the stretching, despite the warm up. It can certainly affect. 2020
is our year, folks.
I know. Merry Christmas.
We got this. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I know. I'm so pumped. You're Superwoman, and I feel like you have 19 jobs and don't ever get sick, and you got down for a few days. I've been there. I did this week too, or this season as well. Yeah. So we missed our normal Saturday podcast, but I'm so amped up that we were able to sneak in a Christmas Eve.
Well, I'm so amped too. I'm so impressed. And tell your family thank you for sharing you. It's a big deal on Christmas Eve for with all your wonderful family.
Likewise. I know you got in-laws in town and families here and stuff. So
I'm gonna share it with y'all.
It was kind of weird. I told you off air, like back to my 4 kids, y'all they're 11 to 6. So
oh my God, they're adorable.
They're pretty cute kids.
They're so sweet.
Pretty cute kids.
They're so sweet.
But you guys out there that have young kids and Dean's in junior high now, my oldest son.
Yeah. Okay.
But busy, right?
I can't even imagine.
The little ones. Oh. We keep getting told time flies. They're going to be in high school, and you're going to be like, "Hey, come hang out with me."
Bye.
They're doing their own thing.
Bye, Mom and Dad.
But lots of action with our kids, and we're blessed and wouldn't have it any other way. But
sure.
Weirdly enough, and this didn't happen for Ashley and I, all 4 of them, we did a Christmas with her family last night.
Oh.
And all 4 of them, they invited to stay the night. So Ashley and I had a really rare just me and her night last night.
You're like, this is weird. You're like, what do we talk about?
And so it all worked out perfectly. They're having a great time with their family. We're going to go join them later.
That's so
after this
cool.
Podcast,
that's so fabulous.
That worked out just fine.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Really, really good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Ryan's family or whoever did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or was it her family that took
family.
it? Her family.
Well, it was mutual. They were like, the kids can stay. Y'all have them stay with us,
Oh, so you're like, well, come home.
We're like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll go. Just us. We love them dearly, but when you get little moments to be with just yourself,
I'm sure it's nice.
Try to take advantage of that.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. I just love this time of the year, right? It's where families get together and we all, I just think, like, I love my in-laws are in town. It's just great, just to share some time and just to rest a little bit. I know it's a little crazy, but it's a different crazy than our normal work crazy. So it's fun. I love it. And you can't do it. You can't make a mistake. That's one thing I like about it. I'm not getting fired from giving presents,
Yeah. Now, Joe,
well, maybe so. Joe might.
Really close with that bowling ball.
It was very close. It was very close. But it's kind of fun. It's like, I can get that. And a lot of times I get people things that I want, like we talked about that, but I still do that. I'm like, this is so cool here. And I hope they like it. And if they don't, I enjoyed getting it for them.
Listen, I want to say thank you for, I put it down because the beep was annoying. But I want to say thank you for my Addicted to Sets.
You're welcome.
That was very, very kind of you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, of course.
It was awesome.
Well, it's such a pleasure. I love doing our podcast. I'm really looking forward to the new year.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really fun with all this audio visual to see what we can do on the courts.
Yeah.
So watch our YouTube channel because we're going to be adding some more cool things. Last week, Ryan did a beautiful video out talking about our beautiful clay courts.
Our gorgeous red clay.
Yeah, it came out really nice. It's on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to keep expanding what we do. Of course, our podcast will be on here.
Sure.
Tips on tennis.
Yes. A weekly tip.
We talked about the overhead this time,
Yeah.
so tune in for that, please. And then you might notice that we'll be all around the club. We're out here on the court. All out here on the court today.
It's so fun.
It is so fun.
I love it.
I mean, Michelle, I know that you bought this place. I work here, and we gush about how gorgeous it is here. But if I was just a random pro that rolled up on this joint, I would be saying the same things. This place is amazing.
It is.
It is.
It's beautiful.
It is boutique. It is quaint. It is
high quality.
Very high quality.
Yeah.
And we had a great conversation with some people who just moved into the area this morning, and we're growing. And 2020 is going to be a hell of a year.
It's going to be so nice. It was so nice. We reserved these courts so people wouldn't play on them, so it's kind of nice.
That's
but we
right.
had people on the other courts.
That's right. They're all over the place.
Yeah, so sorry, folks. We take up a lot of courts.
I hope we have that great problem on our hands. We want a podcast on the court. Actually, I don't hope. It's going to happen. Where this place is bustling. December, January are our slowest months.
It's kind of quiet. Yeah.
It's okay. It's colder. It's family. You're like you said. We're spending time and we're resting a little bit.
You're right.
And
then the new year, that's when everybody's like, all right, I ate way too much.
Yeah.
I'm going to get out and work out. And tennis is a thing for you, right?
Well, new year, new you. And a lot of that, that's a time to come join a club, isn't it? It's
1,000 times.
Come be a part of what we got going on here. And
new year, new you, new club.
That's right.
I like it. I like it.
And for a lot of kids out there, next Christmas a new racket, hopefully.
Yes.
And
I like it.
New equipment.
Yay! I'm so excited. Ashley's gonna help us with that.
That's
so cool.
I'm so proud of her for the work she's done, and she's selfless in it all. She genuinely wants these kids to have a little something, and that comes from the bottom of her heart.
So
I know
cool.
it. So we're thrilled to be a part of it. And,
Yay! So good. All right, Ryan.
Yeah.
How do we end? Always.
You want to talk about our socials?
I'm gonna do the wave.
Yeah.
That was a new thing.
We're still.
It's for TikTok. It's a TikTok practice. Wait, let me try it back. No, that was a big thing in our time. Did they still do the wave?
I don't. The wave is there.
Okay, cool.
The wave is definitely there.
Okay, all right.
I don't think you can ever retire the wave or the sprinkler.
Let's ask Dean. Dean can help
doubt.
us with that. Okay.
I catch him doing. He likes dancing. Like he does. Actually, I know I talk about my wife about how artistic she is, and she's a great photographer. And hell, she painted a couple of paintings for her sisters and her mom for a Christmas gift. She just sent it to me, one of the final products. She sings like an angel. She's a great dancer. All the arts, she killed it, and
that's amazing.
Yeah. So Dean, I think Dean got it from her and loves the dance.
Love to have him on doing some dancing. That'd be so fun.
I think he'll do it.
I love it.
But let's talk socials a little bit. First off, what's our website?
It's lakecliffracquetclub.com. We also have socials. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
So all things Lakecliff, all things Addicted to Sets.
Yeah.
On our socials.
Addictedtosets.com.
Right.
I meant to say sets. It sounded a little bit too like the other word. Sorry. Addicted to sets.
Let's be clear on that.
Yeah, be very clear.
You might not want to go to that website.
Yeah, don't go to that website. I don't know what's there. Yeah.
But and then of course our personal socials. I'm at. I'm gonna throw this one out there. I haven't done it yet, but Ryan Jaker Vega is mine.
What is it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. cool.
Yeah, and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, spelled Jakir is my middle name. My grandfather was.
I like it.
It's my mom's maiden name.
All right.
And
cool.
anyways, go find me there.
All right.
Also, I have Jakir Vega and Vega Tennis, as always. Vega Tennis TX. Come find me on there.
Come find Ryan.
And you always have great stuff up.
Michelle Nipko.
That's you.
On Instagram. That's the big thing. And we also have a Facebook page for Addicted to Sets.
Very, very clear on that.
Tennis sets. Sorry. Sorry, Mom. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Both Kathys.
Yeah. Sorry, both Kathys.
I did mention to my Kathy just recently that she needs to come on, and she's rather modest. She's like, "Oh no, I'm not coming on there." Said you're gonna get on there, Mom. But anyways, and then of course we got you and Mary Beth do a great job of keeping us lots and lots of updates and posts at the Lakecliff Facebook page. Come find us, come follow us, and I really like what you said about chart your progress after you've started to implement these pre-match, pre-tournament things, and I'd love to see the data on that.
Collect the data. Me too. Me too.
You know, we'll send you a shout out. You send us some information, and we'll put you here on the podcast. What do you think?
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
We'll call it the Graph Podcast.
Yeah. Joe, we'll get our senior technician in here.
Yes.
To decode.
We'll have a whiteboard out here. It's gonna be great.
That's great.
Oh, we're such nerds. I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you, Ryan. I'm so glad you could make it.
No, I'm fired up. I want you to have a great Christmas.
I want you to have a great Christmas too.
That.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Bye, guys.